I think we can all agree that 2020 was a disaster year, especially for video games. Now, I know it's literally 4 months into 2021, but just listen, I'm out of ideas, okay? Just hear me out. We were introduced to what I would call some garbage games this year. Cyberpunk 2077. This game was a disaster. Not only did it take, 19 billion years to come out, but when it did come out, it was just this buggy, laggy, and unfinished piece of trash. There were constant glitches that would completely ruin the feeling of the story and atmosphere, and I played the first 10 hours of the game, so I couldn't even return it. Valorant is a really fun game, if you're winning. This is a game where you get online with your buddies like, yeah, I can't wait to play people in our skill level and have a decent game, and then this fucking global master elite prime jet joins the other team and you just get shit on the entire game, and I'm someone who can get really competitive, so I can only handle so much loss. Fall Guys was a game where I constantly got second place and never achieved a single victory. The only thing it did was made me realize how low my life was, considering my anger at bean people. No, I'm right beneath. No!
Right there.
And Among Us was a game that I can't believe people actually played online with people they didn't know, because the obvious only way to successfully play this game and have fun doing it was to 10 stack an entire lobby with all your friends. The downside of this is right before you start playing, everyone looks like this. Then after about half an hour, everyone looks like this. I would consider myself a very average gamer, but I'm also someone who isn't really willing to try games that would be considered new grounds to me. I've never played any Final Fantasies, Red Dead, Doom, Half-Life, Resident Evil, Assassin's Creed, and the only reason I purchased Cyberpunk is because of because I'm an idiot. There are very few games that came out in 2020 that I actually played, but there are a ton of games that I did play that came out beforehand that I think need to be highlighted. I remember very vaguely when I first saw that there was a new Animal Crossing coming out. I didn't even take a look at the Nintendo Direct that had been released with it. Eventually, the trailer showed up in my YouTube recommended, and I went, alright, screw it, and watched it, and holy shit. I sent this video to my friends that are Super Nintendo and went, holy crap, boys, this game is gonna be a banger, and whoo! From the feeling of progression to the overall simplicity of the game, I cannot believe I enjoyed this game as much as I did. Schools in California closed down due to COVID-19 around March 15th, and this game came out March 20th. And holy did I play the ever-living shit out of this game during the first few months of COVID. This game made me realize that I did not need action in a game to be completely overwhelmed by joy and the constant thought of always having something to do. This game recently celebrated its first anniversary, and I still feel like there's so much more I need to accomplish and finish. I remember one time I decided to go on this massive quest to find villagers on this island, and it took me 18 tickets. Oh wait, that was just a few days ago, live in front of a bunch of you guys on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/OMGIt'sAndrew. Where'd you go? This island has so much nature. Every place you look is nature. It's real neat. Today's the best day since I found out what Paschetti was. I know I literally just shouted out my own Twitch channel, but I'm about to do it again because there's actually a purpose for this video. I started to stream on Twitch in October of 2020, and it was actually a really huge part of my life for the last few months of the year. Easily the most memorable game I played on stream was Pokemon Sword and Shield. This is a game that I noticed has gotten quite a bit of hate, and it is definitely not the best Pokemon game of all time. But when I played the game on stream, it was not the first time I played the game. However, it was the very first time I played through all of the DLCs, and holy shit, they just throw everything at you. You want legendary Pokemon? Here's all the legendary Pokemon you can get. All you have to do is win a few fights with random Pokemon. You want to explore? Bang. Not one, not two, but 3 massive islands that completely immerse you in this Pokemon environment. Plus, despite being a whole new generation of Pokemon, they still managed to include a ton of the older generation. However, I am now looking at you, Nintendo. It is very possible that I'm the only person on the planet that wants this. But if you release a game that has similar environment and feel to this, but then make all the Pokemon from Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, whatever, woo, I would play that so much, Jesus Christ. But I played the game at least twice this year, and each time still felt like a whole new experience. Super Mario Sluggers is a classic for me. This game is now 13 years old, and I believe I've owned the game for about as long as that. However, the game still plays amazingly. Despite there being a few glitches every once in a while, this game has always felt so clean to me. If you need a game to play when you invite your friends over to your house, this is it. This game has a massive roster with each character being good with different things. Some are better at running and catching, some are super heavy hitters, and some are slow. I've beaten the story mode at least 50 times, and that is not an exaggeration, and this is partly because it only takes about 2 hours to beat, but also because it's just so much fun to me. So Nintendo, once again, this game was released in 2008. Please, we need a new Mario Baseball. Make the roster absolutely massive, or at least get Rosalina in there. And also my favorite character, Cataquack. Oh, and also put it on the Switch. Just take my money already. Doki Doki Literature Club is not a game I thought I would enjoy. One of my boys recommended this game to me and I went, what the fuck is this? And he said, no, trust me, you're gonna want to play this. And holy shit, am I glad I played it. Now, if you're like me and have a really hard time staying focused when reading, I wouldn't recommend playing this game. It is hours upon hours of reading dialogue. However, I would still recommend this game to you by watching a YouTube channel who's played it, because god is it worth it. I won't give any spoilers because it really is worth the experience, but this game is not at all what you think it is. It goes from cute to what in God's name is happening. And it is just so much fun, and it caused me hours of entertainment. This little indie game turned into a massive success, and this guy Dan Salvato is an absolute genius. Breath of the Wild is a game where you play as a naked guy and have to find clothes before you get caught by the perverted old man. But then it all goes wrong. If you've not played this game yet, what are you doing? I've played this game 3 times over and would still be fine with playing it again. The amount of freedom you have in this game is ridiculous. You always feel like there are new things you can accomplish and you've only touched the surface of what is actually possible. This game literally feels endless, and then they come out with a DLC that added 1 billion more things, including riddles and fighting a guy who sits crisscross applesauce. This game is phenomenal and is easily one of my favorite games of all time. Now, obviously, all of these being my top games to play in 2021 is my opinion, and there's so many games that I wanted to play in 2020 and now the beginning of 2021 that I still have not gotten to, like Mario Paper and Bowser's Anger. And I actually haven't ever played 3D World before, so expect that to be a long-ass series sometime. But overall, 2020 was not the best year for video games, and so far in 2021, we have not been off to a great start. Nintendo thinks we wanted another Sword character, no Breath of the Wild 2, no Waluigi or Freddy Fazbear in Smash, no Mario Odyssey 2, no Mario Galaxy 3, no Super Mario 128, and I mean, golf, Nintendo? I mean, I'm still gonna buy it, but golf, Nintendo? For the love of God, one can only hope that the games coming out this year, or at least announced this year, are a little more hype than they have been. If I had to pick one game to be my top game of 2020, it would be Counter-Strike Global Offensive, released on August 21st, 2012.